It's the time of the week.
And you are listening to another episode of A Scientific Endeavor.
Analyzing stuff of non-scientific.
I am Sean from Trece Martires.
Hello there, we are Rina.
And Nico from the historic town of Tansa.
Shirley.
And Christine of the first-class city Dasmariñas.
Speaking from the coffee capital in Dang, Aranisa. As usual, we will subject a specimen to our scientific lens.
What?
Like a microscope, we will magnify through fine details which our eyes don't often perceive. In today's discourse, The Cat Who Lived in the Palace, written by Say Shonagon.
A question. Are cats better than dogs? As expected, the tension is building real quick. Let's first hear the side of cynophilists or dog lovers. Rina?
I like how our dog literally protects and follows me anywhere I go. You really can't experience that with cats because they don't give a perfect love.
Okay. As the representative of the feline group, cats do seem cold, but that is their charm. Their affections and actions are limited, making it sincere. So you're saying you are fascinated by a dog who would literally jump at anyone?
Uh-oh, this feels like an endless debate. Because it is true, there's no need for a comparison. The truth is, this question correlates with the literature that we will talk about in today's podcast. Let's have Shirlane walk us through the story.
The Cat Who Lived in the Palace is a traditional Japanese story that aims to tell the experience of Akinimaru. There was a king that loved his cat very much. One day, this cat named Lady Miyobu was bitten by a dog named Akinimaru, so he exiled him. Days later, he returned to the palace and was beaten for it. When the palace helpers called his name, he did not respond. An incident happened and thankfully, the people that loved him dearly recognized and treated him. In the end, his banishment was revoked as it was granted the imperial pardon. Akinimaru is back to his previous life.
Really makes me wonder why the title is like that when the dog is quite the star of the story.
Right? The story even sounds random. No wonder Pillow Book is written in style known as zuitsu, meaning rambling.
Yeah, the story sounds arbitrary. Still, it is the randomness that makes the story refreshing and thought-provoking.
I agree, and I think our listeners feel the same because we received lots of questions about the topic.
It is hard to create an analysis since reality is rather subjective. One can interpret the story as a symbolism of today's injustice, favoring those in power while stepping on other people's rights.
Or this could signify a gender-related issue. Lady Miyobu is the girl and Okinamaru is the man.
Lots of opinions or interpretations can be drawn from the literature since the story doesn't even have a concluding statement. That's why we are here, to shed light by answering questions from the perspective of a science enthusiast, logical and empirical. Rina, mind reading the first question?
Alright. They're curious about why the king made the hasty decision of banning Okinamaru.
On a personal level, I think it was just because he's the king.
Yeah, his words are the law.
You know, people always follow his commands, so he might have lost his reasoning skills.
Indeed, on a scientific level, people jump to conclusions because our cognitive system relies on mental shortcuts, which increase the speed of our judgment and decision-making at the cost of reducing their accuracy and optimality. There is a saying by Benjamin Franklin, haste makes waste.
I love that saying. In this case, it has consequences. Okinamaru's tragedy. Really, one cannot see its reflection on the boiling water as truth can be seen in a state of anger.
Referring to the heart-wrenching part of the story, how could Okinamaru still survive such beatings? Is it a pure product of fiction or possible in reality?
That's a good question. Dogs' ancestors were actually wolves until they were domesticated. There are dogs as big as bears and as small as a handbag. But scientifically, regardless of their differences, all dogs have potent muscles for their size, making them capable of extraordinary feats of endurance and strength.
Overall, do we recommend this story so far?
It really shows how randomness and even random moments give us valuable lessons. We'll clean up the lab now and we'll see you next episode.